Good afternoon. Sat Kalsa here for our little ball of mud, ready for another exciting and informative interview. James Scott has willingly accepted part of his goal is to improve on his outreach to some really magical aspects of our community that need to be reached out to, and where healing needs to take place. So I'm going to introduce to you James Scott, and hello, sir.
How you doing?
It's really nice to meet you finally, and I met you kind of through Cynthia,
Right.
and I know what you've been doing because I read about all those things. What are your aspirations for the future? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into sitting right here and where you're going.
Okay. All right. Well, originally I'm from Buffalo, New York. I was born in 1966. I was kind of like in a rough household. I grew up in a rough household. Of women actually. But the environment that I grew up in was the normal type of environment that a child should grow up in. So
It wasn't normal.
it wasn't the normal. Yes. I ended up being put out at the age of 12. Been on my own since the age of 12. Me and my mother, we have a great relationship. We've always had a great relationship. It was just, through the her ex-husband that she was with at the time, and
There was friction.
friction in the house, and conflict between me and him, and I ended up being
And
put
you've
out.
always been
Tall guy, you know what I mean? Kind
Even at 12, you
of,
were
kind of
almost-
even at 12 years old.
you were
Yeah, I was
maxed
pretty
out
tall.
then, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of intimidating then, you know what I mean, as I am now. But I'm really not a violent or intimidating person. You know what I mean? I am actually a fun-loving guy. I'm like a big kid, like Shaquille O'Neal.
I'm about 12 myself.
Yeah. Okay, well, I ended up being put out at 12, and I gravitated towards the streets, and
Okay.
the streets pretty much raised me.
Okay.
And I ended up doing a long stint in prison, a 10-year stint in prison, and it was there that I turned my life around. I took advantage of the programs that they had in there. I took advantage of the college courses that they had in there. I learned trades. I went to school. I got a GED. When I got out, I enrolled in ITT Tech. And prior to me getting out, I had written like 13 novels. I was just fascinated with reading books, and so I started writing. And I'd written like 13 novels, and I got out and I went to ITT Tech, and I was pushing my novels out to publishing companies, and I finally got published, one of my novels. And the book was doing really good, but for some reason, the publishing company robbed me for all my royalties. I didn't get a dime off of it. So what I did is, at the time I was fascinated with computers. That's why I went to ITT Tech. I loved the whole aspect of the computer. And I went to IT Tech, and when I got robbed for my royalties, I went to Google and searched how to be your own publisher, and I started my own publishing company. I learned all the ins and outs. I hired editors, graphic designers. I learned how to do graphic designing in ITT Tech. I learned how to build websites. All
You
types of
mastered the cloud.
There you go. I've always been good at, whatever I put my mind to, I always try to master it,
Yeah.
No matter whether it was good or bad, I tried to master it, because I knew at that time, I needed to do something positive with my life. So it was around about that time in 2014 when I met Cynthia, and I was on my way to California to do a book signing, and we met through a book club on Facebook. So I flew out here to meet with her, and I never went home. We just, we had this plan.
Bam.
Bam, yeah, you know what I mean?
It was a
We had this plan, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. We had the same aspirations, same goals, and stuff like that. So we went, we pushed toward, accomplishing
That's good, yeah.
those things, and we did. I in the beginning, I sold books and T-shirts. We had this T-shirt logo. And I sold books and T-shirts out of the trunk of my car while she worked, and I made pretty good money, like a couple of $100 a day, when you save it up, it amounts to a lot, you know what I mean? So then I went down to the swap meet. I opened up a booth at the swap meet. I started selling clothes and books, and we put our money together and we opened our first store, and the first store was a flop, it was a learning lesson for us. And we opened the second store on 24th Street and Indian School. And it was a really big store, and the plaza was really nice. We put everything we had into it. Yeah, put everything we had into it.
And northwest and southwest corner?
Southwest corner. There used to be on that corner. There was a Rent-A-Center on that corner. Yeah. Okay, so the problem with us being in that plaza is that we had Bob's Plant Shop next door, and we had a Rent-A-Center right there, and they had these really big old trucks, so they used to park the trucks in front of our store where nobody could see us there, And so we ran into 28th Street and Thomas, the guy that owns it. He's actually from Buffalo, New York. He owns Long Wongs, the wing place.
I know those guys. I work for him.
Yeah. Oh, you worked for him before? He's a pretty cool guy.
I cooked chickens and washed their dishes.
Oh, did you really?
I did. Sometimes you have to keep the wheel turning no matter what.
Yeah, well, when I met him and I told him my story, and immediately he was like, "Oh, come over here, I got a place for you." And it was like when we walked into the place, it was so dirty and dingy, and it had all types of old stuff stored in there, and she didn't want it, because it was just dingy, But in my mind, I saw something beautiful. You know what I mean? I saw something.
A corner lot. That's pretty
a corner lot. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there and I cleaned it up and I painted the walls, did the floors and everything. And she came down there and she looked at the place and she couldn't believe it was the same place.
Nice.
Nice. So we just put everything into it. Opened it up, and it was something about the community over there that we came up with the idea of, pricing everything with 55 cents so that we can give back to the community. We use the 55 cents to help battered women and children, women coming out of rehab, women coming out of prison. I send books to men in prison, for free. A lot of women, they come into the store and, oh, my husband's in prison, so I send them books, and the reason why I do that is because I want to give them inspiration, and let them know that they could be whatever they want to be. They don't have to come back out into society and be the same person they were when they went in there.
Right. It's more fun not to.
Yeah, it's more fun not to be in it. It's more fun to be free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we just started, opening up different stores in different areas, and the thing about opening up a business is location. You know what I mean? So sometimes we wouldn't choose the right location. Sometimes we would. But we're standing 3 stores strong now, and everything that we do within our store is about helping the community. See, you can't go to Walmart and come in there and say, I just got out of prison, I got nothing to wear, I got to go to this job interview, and I don't even have an outfit. You can't go to Walmart and do that, but you can come to Nickel City and do that. And that's how we get back to the community.
And giving them hope.
And giving them hope as well.
Which is huge.
See, because we've both been through the system.
Exactly.
And, we
know what it's like to sit there without hope.
Absolutely. Without anyone there to help you or anything like that, So we do that from the heart because we know how it feels. And, that's been the focal point of our business. And my goal is I want to open up, as many stores as possible to be able to put a franchise tag on. And once I get a franchise tag, I can start opening up in different states. So, Nickel City can become a household name like Circle K and Walmart, things of that nature. And these are Nickel Cities across the entire country that give back to the community. You know what I mean? Because in order to put that franchise tag on it, you know, if you want to, you know, buy that franchise tag, these are the things, these are stipulations that you have to do in those communities. You have to get back.
And all you got to do in each of these cities is just find out where they're making the mannequins.
Well, they call them the Brazilian butt mannequins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
takes everybody. Oh yeah, I know that place. They got
Yeah,
those
they got
mannequins.
those mannequins with the big booties down there. You know, yeah, they call them the Brazilian butt mannequins. Like the guy we get them
Oh, I
from, you
love
know,
it so
he's
much.
like, oh, you're here for the Brazilians. Huh?
Nice.
Yeah, but it's been a long ride, a long journey, you know. But I'm not done yet. You know, I'm not done yet. You know, I want, like I said, I want to make Nickel City a household name. You know, I want people to be able to, okay, I need this.
Nice.
I'm going to Nickel City, you know, and so. You know, I'm thinking about gas stations, corner stores, Nickel City, you know what I'm saying?
See, and that's what I want to do with this.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
Our little ball of mud. Yeah.
What's it say at the bottom?
Know why you're here or you're just paying bills. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I think I posted that on Facebook. Yeah. Yes, yes.
This is triple extra large.
Triple extra large.
When I hold it up, you won't see any of us.
Ah, wow.
Look at that.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, James, that's yours, buddy.
Well, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you very
man.
much. I think I'll take a picture of that today.
Yes, sir. And
Our little
so I
ball
do
joint.
understand, you know, I, on all of my domestic violence classes, my anger management classes, my substance abuse classes,
Right,
I'd always put this on the board
right,
with a little, you know, it's easy to draw with chalk.
right,
We're
right.
a guy up there, you know, so that when they came into the room, they'd all of a sudden
Wow.
be
They saw it.
transported into a whole other reality.
Right.
Because we're little bitty spirits running around on the ball of mud. And
there
you
you
gotta
go.
stop and say like, cool.
Yeah.
And start having a good time and start supporting their fellow man.
Absolutely.
As I see you doing.
Absolutely.
I can't
I
tell
mean,
you.
we get a lot of support. You know, we also throw fashion shows every year. And the fashion shows are for fundraisers for foster kids. You know, so we do a fashion show every year as a fundraiser for foster kids to be able to donate, help foster kids out, help them out with clothes or whatever they may need. You know what I mean? So, you know, we donate to a lot of foster homes when we do the fashion shows. So that's the whole focal point of the fashion shows, is to be able to help foster kids. Yeah. I mean, in today's society, you know, kids grow up so differently than they did back then, you know, and without the proper teaching and guidance in a household, you know, they
They're
can take
gonna-
them anywhere.
That's right.
They can be, you know, they can go anywhere into the streets and learn all the bad things. But if you take them, just step back and take a moment to teach them the right things, you know, they'll have a chance in life.
Get them in the cloud.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm all about giving the kids a chance. I love kids. You know, like I said, I'm a big kid at heart. You know, and I haven't met a kid yet that doesn't like me. Yeah.
They better.
They better. Oh, yeah.
Did you do sports?
I did. I played basketball. I have the results of that is I've had 3 reconstruction knee surgeries, you know, but I played ball a lot, and I was really good. You know, I was flying through the air before Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? But I didn't, you know, at that time, I didn't have the mindset that I have now. I have an entirely different mindset than I did back when I was a teenager and when I was in my 20s and early 30s. You know, I didn't start to change my mindset until my late 30s and in the 40s. You know. But I'm so glad that I did, because it took me into an entirely different direction than the direction I was going in, because I was headed for jail or death. You know, but I took the initiative to, you know, go out and learn everything that I need to learn to be a better person, and today I am a better person. It's been a long road.
I know,
A
and
really
it
long
sounds
road.
like jail was a place of epiphanies for you.
Actually, it was. You know, prisons taught me so much about not only people but about the system. You know, and the system was designed to, as a revolving door, to have people coming in and out of prison. You know, so that they can make money. You can actually buy
they have
stock.
they need money too.
Yeah, you can actually buy
Yeah, right.
stock
I
on
know,
Wall Street,
I
you know, for
know,
prisons.
I
You
know.
know what I mean? So, you know, it's no longer about rehabilitation. It's about money. But you have the option
If
of whether or
you-
not you want to rehabilitate yourself or not.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it.
So, there's the camera.
Mm-hmm.
There's the world as you know it now.
Mm-hmm.
And all the stuff that's going on and going down out there. What's your message to the humans?
To the humans, how you doing?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I would just like to say, if you haven't heard of Nickel City, you will. Just Google it, and it'll tell you everything about our company and what we stand for. I'm
So you're saying that the goals and aspirations of your company has to do basically with your message to the people now.
yes,
Get out there and help
help others.
others, support them as much as you can, and have fun doing it.
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
you guys are having a blast.
We are.
Yes, we are. You know,
Yeah.
we enjoy what we do. You
Yeah.
know, it's not something that's fake. It's not anything about trying to make profit. You know, although we do have a business to make profit, but we also have a business to help others.
You come right here. You come right here. You remember Cynthia from Nickel City Baby?
No, you didn't say it right. See, you didn't
Okay.
say it right. It's Nickel City, baby.
Oh, baby!
Say it right.
Well, I am so honored to be part of your dream.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
We'd love to film one of your fashion shows. I think
we
that
gotta
would
Oh,
be
be
there for
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
It's called the I Care Fashion Shows.
I Care fashion show.
Yeah.
Right.
And is it held in the same location each year?
No, we do different locations. We do it in conjunction with Something Unique Productions. A friend of ours, Lamar Cole, he's a designer, and so we do that together. We both put our input together to do this fashion show. So we do it every year. Of course, due to COVID, we haven't been able to do it for the past couple of years. We're looking forward to getting back into that this year. We're also going to be a part of, I forgot to tell you. So we're also,
She forgot to tell me.
Secrets always come out.
What is
Crazy
this?
time. I just found out I was a drug
Now
smuggler.
the whole world knows that
I
you
didn't
keep
even
secrets.
know I was a drug smuggler until I talked.
no, the whole world knows that I tell you everything. So
Wow.
I forgot to tell you that we're actually going to be part of another fashion show. It's a Black Coalition. We were asked to be a part of that. What they do is they actually help a lot of the people who are downtrodden in our community. Some of them have had some really rough problems, and so they're putting together a show and an event. I'm going to be speaking at that event, and we're also going to be doing a fashion show at that event. It's a major event. It's going to be in downtown Phoenix, and as soon as we have the details, we will give you those details as well.
Get us in there.
Wow.
And I'll get you in there.
There we go. Our little
Okay.
ball of mud up.
A little ball of mud. And so what we want to make sure that we always put across in our message when we're talking to people, and especially when we're talking to our community, because a lot of times our community looks at things and thinks that, oh, it's just always a bunch of fun, you know what I mean? And although we do enjoy what we do, it does come with a lot of for much given, much is expected. And we have given a lot, and that we have been given a lot and blessed very heavily, and a lot has been expected of us. Doing something like this is definitely a decision, because it does put a strain on everything. We literally pour our hearts and souls into that. I am a certified, licensed, deemed workaholic. So I am the workaholic, And so it does put a lot of strain on us, you know what I mean? The same register that you own when it's full is the same one you own when it's empty. And the same marriage that you own when it's full is the same one that you own when it's empty. When you're both, you know, indulged in a lot of different things. My husband's really deep into the books. I'm like heavily into the store. You know, I'm more into the, you know, the face of the store. He's more into the book side of everything. More, he, you know, he really likes working with authors who haven't had a chance to get their story out. He didn't tell this part of the story, but I'm getting ready to tell it.
Nice.
So he, as an author, when he wrote his first book, he got involved with a publisher, and it was a scam. And the publisher actually stole his book and stole his book and a lot of his material and all kinds of stuff. Gypped him out of a lot of money, charged him a lot of money, and all kinds of stuff. So that's where his drive. So that's how where his drive came from. So he decided to go to IT Tech and figure out how to do this thing on his own. That's how he started the publishing company, so that he could help authors who were writing a book for the first time,
Right.
so that not to get scammed and not to get burned.
How to go about it yourself?
Well, how to get with a publishing company that wouldn't scam you. So Nickel City is a dedicated publishing company who does help first-time authors as well as writers who are in prison. Both of us wrote stories while we were in prison, so we understand that you have a lot of time, and you know, and a lot of times some of the best stories come from not here under this sun, but from behind the bars where you're looking at a different sun. And so we want those stories told. And so my husband specializes in telling those stories for people who are behind bars and working with them, because he understands the process. There's a lot different working with someone who's in prison, because the communication level is a little different, and he understands how to communicate with them and the communication level that you have to have. So that's what he specializes in. I specialize in dealing with women when they walk out the door and they're just done.
What
you
am
know
I
what I
gonna
mean?
do now?
Right. So we kind of both have our lanes, you know, and oftentimes our lanes cross.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
But we're here for the long ride, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so we as well are working on things to, you know, to change things and to set different directions. And we're working on everything along the way, because we're the same people who are, after we close the door and lock the door at the store, you know, we're so exhausted by the time we do, you know, we have a store in Oklahoma City, we have a store in Glendale, we have a store in Phoenix, we did have a store in Mesa. So it's kind of a lot for, you know what I mean, to kind of navigate. So we're learning ourselves, you know what I mean, and we enjoy that our community is learning with us.
An angel just passed.
Did you see it? Okay.
All right, folks. This is Cynthia and James and Nickel City, baby.
Nickel City, baby!
Have you seen Joe?
Who's Joe?
Remember the cop?
Oh, Joe, yes.
Yeah.
He's actually, I actually texted Joe when I had a situation at the store not too long ago, and he was very helpful. I sent him the images.
Nice.
He actually came down, watched my store every night while I closed until I got back
Get out of
comfortable
here.
again. He
Did
is a
you hear
very
that
amazing
story?
man.
Joe?
I heard it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He
That
was-
was around about the time our lanes crossed.
Y'all lanes were crossing when we were doing the interview.
Oh, man.
He was on that lane over there, and I was on that one. And we were supposed to be on opposite sides, so we just decided to just have a standoff.
Yeah.
So we had a standoff for a while, but you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's the nature of the business and the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we got into this because we both had the same dreams, the same goals. You know what I mean? And we both made some major mistakes along the way,
Yes, we have.
and brought some major, and you know, with wars, there's casualties of war.
Yeah,
and we
I've gotten killed a few times. Yeah.
And that's what I used to say in my domestic violence classes. Always be nice.
See? Always be
Always
nice,
be
like
nice.
me.
And I'd always, I'd wave as they went out the door. Okay, bye. Don't be a dick.
I wave when they go out the door too.
Oh wow!
Bye.
It should help you.
Yes.
I think it will, and I pray that it will expand all your fortunes and your dreams.
Yes.
Thank you
yes.
for allowing
It was a pleasure.
us to come into your nice home.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Cynthia, always
Thank you. Always.
the best. Thank you, dear. Okay.
Cut!